The Warner Brothers and the Warner Sister are back after a 22-year hiatus, and they've brought along Pinky and the Brain for good measure. Everyone else from the old show? Not so much. It's just the Warners and Pinky and the Brain. But in a land of political correctness, meta-commentary, and internet memes, can the Warners still somehow function? Well, let's find out. This is Animaniacs 2020. So yeah, in this case we're going to do kind of a series overview. I'll try not to get too spoilery. I'm not going to get episode by episode here, but yeah, so far, I mean, well, I've watched the whole first season. They have been renewed for at least a second on Hulu, and it is really funny. I think it's well done. Really good animation. They've updated the Warner's looks a little bit. They have tweaked a few things here and there. I think a lot of the, quote, people complaining about the political commentary, they're just not getting past the theme song because they have changed a few of the lyrics around. Dot is no longer quoted as cute. She has wit now. And so, yeah, instead of Dot is cute and Yakko yaks, it's Dot is wit and Yakko yaks. And they also have some jokes about pronoun-neutral gender equality and ethnic diversity, but really that's kind of as deep as it goes. I mean, there are political references, but they're no different than the ones they made about Bill Clinton back when their original show was on. So, again, I don't really see it being too much of a difference. Moving on to Pinky and the Brain, because that's the only other recurring segment for Animaniacs to make it to this new reboot. They're still doing a lot of the same things. Like, again, they've updated it with some modern technology. They have actually added a few sort of recurring characters, for lack of a better term. They've had Brain build a robot son who turns out is actually smarter than Brain and eventually tries to usurp him, only to get defeated. But they sort of hint like he could come back. There's also 2 more genetically engineered mice. There's one called Edwin, who is sort of jokey as he keeps showing up only to suddenly be killed. And then there's Judy, who is another one that is another genetically engineered mouse that Brain tried to turn into first being a first lady, but then just having her run for president. With him being the puppet master, but she got enough of her own free will that she rebelled against him, and it's sort of plotting the thread that she could pop up as another nemesis somewhere down the line. So again, there's a little bit here and there. If I do have some complaints about the show, with both what the overall idea is, again, it's just the Warners and Pinky and the Brain. Like, none of the other recurring characters really show up. Like, Dr. Scratch and Sniff, it appears briefly in one segment and then makes a full return in, like, the second to last episode. So, yeah, was it the second to last or was it the last episode? Hey, just a sec, let me take a quick little gander here. No, it's actually the last episode that he shows up. So, yeah, like I said, he doesn't show up until like the last episode as a speaking character. So there's kind of that's kind of weird. There's no Good Feathers, no Buttons and Mindy, no Slappy Squirrel, none of that stuff. There is one recurring character who makes a full appearance. I won't get too spoiler into who it is. But it does kind of play in a little bit that they reference the fact that, wow, none of the other characters wanted to show up for some reason. So they do kind of lay into it, but it didn't quite. Again, you could tell the show is sort of lacking for it. You know, it's always Warners, Pinky and the Brain, Warners, Pinky and the Brain, Warners, Pinky and the Brain, Warners. You get the idea. Another weird thing is they do a Halloween special. The show premiered 3 weeks after Halloween. I don't know why that is. Were they planning on this being earlier? Just seemed kind of weird and out of the ordinary. And then they have tried to do 2 new reoccurring segments. I don't know if they're going to be recurring or not, but they did 2 sort of original segments. One, it was Starbucks and Cindy, I think it was called, and it's basically Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain, except just the Brain and Elmira. Starbox is an alien who's leading an invasion force, and his ship accidentally crash lands on Earth, and he gets adopted by a little girl. That's really it, and he's constantly trying to get back to his ship to radio back his fleet, but he fails. And then there's another one about a guy who gets turned into a gnome that lives in people's mouths and speak up for people who can't speak up for themselves. So yeah, like, again, maybe not as good as they could be, but I at least applaud them for trying to do something different. Still, though, overall, this is a really enjoyable show. The animation is really well done. The Warner's redesigns are fine. The voice performances are still spot on. They still know how to work in the musical numbers really well. There's some really funny wit and some pretty good commentary about our current day. So none of that is really too disappointing in any aspects. I'm still going to give Animaniacs 2020 Season 1 an A. Like I said, it's really enjoyable, and if you haven't checked it out, you really should.
Kraft Macaroni and Cheese presents Animaniacs!
It's cheesy gecko wacko-oni.
The Pinky and Brainoni.
Nice view from down baloney.
Did someone say baloney?
It's got cheesy macaroni.
It's new Kraft Animaniacs Macaroni and Cheese.
It's as cheesy as we are.
Beautiful!
It's us in noodleoni. It's a cheesy pandemonium.
I'll be even more baloney!
'Cause it's Kraft Animaniacs macaroni.
Okay, so our next video is going to be the random trade review on Spider-Man Torment. After that, the next movie review is going to be Mank. That's about the screenwriter of Citizen Kane. That's coming out on Netflix on December 4th. See you all next time. Hey guys, remember, you can help support my channel at patreon.com/sleepytimeforcat productions, where you can help request a movie, even if it's something like, say, Sonic the Hedgehog or the next Purge film. I'll review it.